All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here back with another W, 14-0 Cleveland Cavaliers. I personally called it at 125, 110. That's what I would love to have seen. But then I didn't realize Evan Mobley wasn't playing today. So the paint was wide open. Jared Allen was by himself, no help. Niang, as much as he was rebounding, boxing out, he just didn't have that defensive presence that Evan Mobley brings to the table. Although we had an amazing start to the game, which I could probably put at the beginning of this video. It was 49-30 in the first quarter. I think 49-31 or 49-30, something like that. It was almost a 50-point game in the first quarter already. But besides that point, we ended up scoring 144 points this game. At the end, if those of you who do not understand why the Cavs kept scoring and why the Cavs kept their starters at the end for that last minute and a half, well, in the tournament, it's not only based off of winning, but it's also based off of point total. So that being said, we had a stat pack towards the end. So that 144 probably messed up a lot of people's betting numbers tonight. And I thought it was the most impressive thing I saw the whole game is the last minute and a half, besides that first quarter. Like I mentioned in my previews, one of my concerns was the third quarter, whether we're going to come out sluggish and whether we were going to start the game guns blazing or lackadaisical. They started the game how I wanted them to play. I was expecting less, but I wanted them to come out guns blazing. The defense was not present at all this whole game till about the last 5 minutes of the game, honestly. The Bulls had a chance to take the lead after the third quarter. I believe in the third quarter, there was at one point they went up 2 points. And we took over the lead again and never allowed them to take the lead again after that. If anything, I think they tied it up twice after that. But Darius Garland, lackadaisical today, believe it or not. Donovan Mitchell saved them a lot of times in this game. Darius Garland, although he had a few key plays in some of the transition offenses and stuff like that, I think he was complaining too much. Not watching his game, overall game. He was bumping into guys, getting hurt a little bit too easy. Not that you can predict when you're going to get hurt, but I feel like if you position yourself in a way where you can guard yourself from the contact and just have some IQ, floor management, a little bit better, I think he wouldn't have got banged up so much, and he would have probably done a little bit of the smarter play, I believe. But at the same time, Donovan Mitchell saved us. Niang, great performance today for what he is. They call him the minivan for a reason. He's slow, but he still fought through those quicker guys that were beating him by kind of like chipping them a little bit before they made their cuts. Definitely looked a lot better than last year. Tristan Thompson, unfortunately, is not a reliable big that we can rely on. Looks super, super slow. Definitely showing his age today against a faster team. That brings me a lot of concerns because on one of my previous videos, I was thinking about the backup center. If anything were to happen to Jared Allen, what that would look like. Unfortunately, I think that is a cause for concern. By the way, I'm super happy about the victory we had today. Definitely room for improvement, but we still showed why we're 14-0 in this game. But defensively, slightly disappointed on how they played Vucevic, Levine, and Kobe White. I mentioned it in my previous video as well. If you let Vucevic go off, if you let Kobe White go off, and Zach LaVine go off, it was going to be a long, long night. So fortunately for us, their defense sucks. They have no defensive presence in the paint. Vucevic is offensive-minded center, does not play defense whatsoever. The next thing I would say, Okoro, big stepping up this year. Okoro stepping up big time this year. Karis LeVert still doing his thing. A little bit off rhythm today, but still was was managing to make successful plays, even being off rhythm today. And these things I see based off of previous history, like history of watching them and seeing their best versus what they're playing today. Obviously, today they looked amazing. If you haven't watched the Cavs and you haven't been following them for the past 2 years, Karis LeVert's game really hasn't changed. If not, it just flourished a little bit more under Kenny Atkins than JB so far for what we've seen in the past 14 games. Ty Jerome kind of laying off the gas pedal. I don't know why. Ty Jerome's tenacity is what I loved in the first 10 games. These last 3 games, he's kind of like laid off the pedal, kind of taking a back seat. And again, what worries me is complacency. Complacency and not having that drive to push to the next level, even though the competition is not at that level. So I'm definitely excited for the win, but still see room for improvement, especially when we have Charlotte, who's a run and gun team as well. And then we have Boston, a more disciplined run and gun, knows how to get under your skin, knows how to draw contact, knows how to, watch the backdoor screens and stuff like that. So hopefully Evan Mobley's back for the Boston Celtics. And for the most part, that pretty much covers up everything. That court looked phenomenal. I can't wait to see the blue jerseys being played in. 144, 123 was the score, I think it was. Definitely love those last 2 minutes of the game. It's a good time to be a Cavs fan. It's a good time to jump on the bandwagon if you want to jump on, because when the playoffs come, I don't want to see none of y'all bandwagons on here, So ride this train. This train's probably going to take us far this year. I'll be honest, I would love to see them in the finals, but regular season games really don't matter. They just create habits. They create future habits for the playoffs. And like I mentioned before, I am really excited about the 17th or the 19th when they play the Boston Celtics. That would definitely set the bar of where we need to play at. And then the next game I'm excited to see is OKC versus Cleveland, and all of the Celtics matchups that we play this year. Everybody else is more like, take it as a grain of salt. We'll get better. Celtics, OKC are my main 2 teams that I feel can knock us out in the playoffs or in the finals, and those are the 2 teams I'm really concerned about when it comes to competition. So I'm excited. I'll get back on here to go over the Charlotte Hornets game preview for me. I haven't watched much of the Hornets at all, but I am going to go back and see Charlotte play a little bit versus other teams, see what their weaknesses are and see what their pros are, and I'll probably give a little bit of that in my previews. I know LaMelo went off the other day, shooting lights out, ugly shot, but he still makes them, so who cares? And then Evan Mobley needs to get better. Jared Allen needs help at center. Definitely, I will continue to poke this bear, because even though I'm beating a dead horse, do you bring Max Strus back? That's the question. Do you bring Max Strus back, or do you trade him now that he has an unseeable value? Because he could either be the Max Strus of last year or a Max Strus you don't want, and that's the honest question. So I don't know if you roll the dice with Max Strus for the rest of the year when he comes back, or do you trade him now? Get a young center. Get a young center to back up Tristan Thompson. To me, I think there's quite a few centers out there. I didn't see Markkanen playing for the Jazz yesterday. Wink, wink. Bring that ass back. But anyways, sorry for my language. But anyways, if you have any questions, go ahead and shoot me a DM. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like. If you like the content I'm producing overall, hit that follow button. Praise Jesus. Jesus is Lord. Peace.